Okay, welcome everyone. So this is our informational webinar for the 2025 Mentorship Awards. We're going to go over the topics of the awards. So we have 3 topics this year and the benefits of each. We'll talk about applications and each of the steps that you need to be aware of. We'll give you some tips to make your application stand out, and we'll have a nice Q&A section at the end here. If you have questions along the way, please feel free to put them in the chat, or you can save them for the end. I don't anticipate us using up the whole hour, so you should be able to save some time here. Okay, so quickly, I'll give a brief overview of Women as One if you aren't already familiar. So we were founded in 2019 by Dr. Roxana Moran and Dr. Marie Claude Maurice, who you can see on the left here. Women as One stands at the forefront of promoting gender equity in cardiology. By supporting women cardiologists in their careers, we can shift the future of healthcare. And at Women as One, our mission is clear: to champion talent in medicine by providing women cardiologists with unparalleled professional opportunities. By doing so, we strive to cultivate a more inclusive, diverse, and just workforce in medicine. If you have any other questions about Women as One or you'd like to learn more, we have plenty of information on our website. But for now, we're going to jump into the Mentorship Awards. Okay, so we have been running the awards program since 2020. It's had a few different iterations, and since then we've had over 40 awardees and given nearly $2 million in funding. Our goal is to fortify the pipeline of women moving into leadership positions in medicine. Recipients of the awards receive targeted funding, mentorship, and networking opportunities. And by working with our industry partners, we bring women together in mutually beneficial pairings to support their career. So that's just a high-level overview, and we'll talk a little bit more about some details. So we made some changes last year in 2024 to redesign this award to have a specific focus in mentorship. We're still in our first cycle of that, but so far we've had really great feedback from our award winners and the sponsors about this change. So in 2025, we're going to continue to focus on mentorship through targeted funding and specific clinical topics, which have been selected by our sponsors, AstraZeneca, BridgeBio, and Novo Nordisk. Those topics are ATTR-CM and NSTM. I think it's NSTEMI, NSTEMI. We'll look into each of these with a bit more detail in a moment. So how is the award structured? Well, both mentors and mentees will go through the same application and review process. It's exactly the same. You don't need to apply with an existing mentor. Everyone applies as an individual. We'll create the award pairings under the guidance of a team of expert reviewers. They will match a current fellow or our mentee with an experienced physician or a mentor from different institutions. And mentors are usually those with 10 or more years of experience. So this year we will have a total of 6 winners. That's 3 mentors, each of which who will receive $15,000, and 3 mentees who each will receive $10,000. Once these pairings are created, you'll work together to develop your project plan. You'll submit a detailed budget as well, indicating how you plan to use that program funding. And we'll host quarterly touch points where each pairing will provide updates on the progress of their projects to the Women as One team, to our reviewers, and the award sponsors. So this mentorship award is a 12-month cycle. One thing to note, you don't need to complete your project within those 12 months. It can go beyond the 12 months. We just want to see significant progress achieved within that 12-month time frame. All right. So our first mentorship pairing, this award is sponsored by AstraZeneca, and it's addressing disparities in ATTR. So this mentorship pairing will focus on identifying and addressing disparities in clinical presentation, diagnostic challenges, disease progression, and treatment outcomes with underserved populations. To be eligible for this award, mentor cardiologists need to have 10 years of practice or more, and mentee cardiologists need to be a current fellow in the following specialty areas. We need to have demonstrated clinical interest in ATTR research, diagnosis, and treatment, and specific interest in health equity and addressing disparities in treatment. And this award is open to all physicians, regardless of where you're located. Our next mentorship pairing is sponsored by BridgeBio. This pairing is also going to be focusing on a project in ATTR-CM. You can see the list of topics that BridgeBio has identified where we'd like this project to be. To be eligible for this award, pretty similar here, mentor cardiologist, 10 years of practice or more, mentee cardiologist, current fellow. The only difference here is that this award is only open to US physicians, so just keep that in mind. And our last mentorship pairing is sponsored by Novo Nordisk, and this is NSTEMI Presentation and Management, Flow within the US Health Systems. So pretty similar. Obviously, this one is only open to US physicians, so something to keep in mind. And we would like to see interventional cardiologists with the demonstrated clinical interest in the treatment of patients with NSTEMI. Okay, so that's a high-level overview of what the 3 mentorship award options are. You can find more information on our website if you'd like to sort of read a bit more about these before you start applying. Before we jump into the application process, I just want to talk a little bit about some of our past winners, read a few of their quotes, just so you can sort of get an idea of the impact that this award has had on our community here. So from Dr. Shrila Banerjee, she is a consultant cardiologist in the UK. And she said, by definition, a mentor is altruistic. You are giving, you might get something back, but ultimately this is your opportunity to give somebody else, to give to somebody else and build the next generation. From Dr. Irina Mbanzi, this mentorship allowed me to learn how to conduct a small project, how to organize it, proceed according to institution rules, and work with colleagues to implement it. And from Dr. Sue Vanassi Lakshman, it's truly transformed how I view myself. It's an empowering experience. Apart from the skills and the investment that you've made, I feel like I'm investable. My vision is investable. You can read more about our winners on our website. We have a couple blogs. We've got, we try to stay up to date on our winners and see what they've accomplished since winning their award. And you can read more about them on our website. Okay, so let's talk about the application process here. The first step in applying, you need to create a profile in our talent directory. You may have already been registered here, which is great. If you're not, no worries. I'll share the link in the chat here so that you can sign up. Let me pop that in there. Oh, that's not it. Oh, it won't let me right now. Caroline, if you could put the talent directory link in the chat. Thank you. Okay, so continuing on here, if you do already have a profile, I would highly encourage you to go in and make sure it's up to date before you submit your application. So once you're logged into the talent directory, you'll see a link for the awards on the left-hand side. I've got a red circle around it here. You'll click on this link to proceed to the application. And in order to apply, you'll need a letter of interest. You'll need a proof of good standing with wherever you're certified, essentially. And 2 letters of recommendation. You'll need one from inside your current institution and one from outside your institution as well. And we know that it takes some time to collect these materials, so you do have a good amount of time to apply. And if you have any questions along the way while you're working on collecting these materials, you can always reach out to us. Okay. So when applying, first make sure that your talent directory is completed. This will help our review committee understand your background and qualifications. Then you'll submit your documents. All applicants will submit a letter of interest explaining why you feel you're a good candidate for this award and how you can use it to move forward in your career, as well as 2 letters of recommendation, as I mentioned, one from a member of leadership at your institution and one from a colleague outside of your current place of work. And you'll also need to submit a proof of good standing with your local medical licensing body. This looks different for everyone, sort of depending on where you are. So if you have any questions about that, please don't hesitate to reach out. And all documents must be submitted in PDF format. If you have any trouble submitting your application, or if you don't receive your confirmation email once you have submitted your application, please reach out to us as soon as possible. Sometimes there's a little bit of a glitch, or sometimes something goes to spam. So if you submitted an application, we want to make sure that we're seeing it on our end. So don't be afraid to reach out to make sure that we receive that. Okay, Some application tips. So we've invited a diverse group of experienced cardiologists from around the world to review applications in each category. Reviewers will assess each application on criteria including the strength of your letter of interest, the content of your letter of recommendation, your level of need and readiness for the award in terms of career escalation, representation of a variety of subspecialties, and geographic locations among award winners is also considered for reviewers. And one of the wonderful things about having done this award program for the past several years is that we typically have the same group of reviewers and they're familiar with the process, they're familiar with what the goal is, and have a good understanding of the past winners that we've had. So there's a lot of continuity in how they select the finalists. And a few more tips here. So I've mentioned this and I'll say it 1,000 times. Please complete your talent directory profile. Typically when you sign up, if you don't have one already, or even if you signed up really quickly in the past and haven't gone back in to complete your profile, it's just like a bare bones level of information. We're going to need a lot more to just get a full picture of you, your experience, and where we can see you moving on in the future. So please make sure that you're completing those as much as possible. And the mission of Women the mission of Women as One is to increase gender equity in medicine. One of the ways we can achieve this goal is by elevating more women into positions of leadership, which is the basis for this award. So consider including some ideas about how you can use this award and the funding provided by it to elevate the careers of not only yourself, but other women as well, and how you can share the message of Women as One with those in your network. Essentially, how will you spread the word about our efforts? We want to see that this is a community and we're not just applying for this award for personal gain. We want to see that you have that in mind, of course, but that you're considering your female colleagues, whether they are more experienced or less experienced than you, and just helping to uplift everyone as a group. Think about what makes your application unique. A personal story adds depth to the application, and reviewers will often advocate for a candidate whose story is meaningful. Specifically for mentees, be as specific as possible about your clinical areas of interest, ideas for a collaborative project, and what you hope to gain from the mentorship. And for mentors, again, specifically outline your clinical areas of interest to ensure a good match, and also provide details about what you feel makes a successful mentor-mentee relationship and how you plan to foster that if you were to win this award. Okay, so we have reached the Q&A session here. I can't see everyone. I think.
I can help with that.
Okay. Do we have any questions?
Well, there are a few questions that we've gotten by email and that we often get about this award program. So I thought it might be useful to answer a couple of those.
Sounds great.
One question that we've gotten recently is, can non-fellows apply for this award? So people who have not yet begun their fellowship or who have recently completed it. Our recommendation is to go ahead and apply. The award is geared toward fellows as the mentees, but if there's a compelling reason why you think you should be considered for the award, go ahead and apply and let the review committee decide. You know, they're going to review applications on a number of criteria, including career experience, level of interest in the topic area defined by the award, and the best fit between the mentor and the mentee. So we're going to assess all of those criteria along with the strength of your letter of interest and the strength of your letter of recommendations, and consider what makes the best award pairing and the most likely to be successful. So go ahead and apply, basically, is the advice here, and let the review committee consider the factors that might be involved in your application. Another question we get quite a bit is, can pre-formed pairs apply? So if you have a current mentor at your institution, can you apply together? And the answer to that question, unfortunately, is no. We really encourage the cross-institutional component of this award program because we feel that it is something that sets the program apart and allows the mentor and mentee to really invest in each other's success. So we will consider mentor and mentee applications individually and create a pairing that will then work together on a project. So we will not consider preformed pairs of mentor and mentee. Let's see. Looking for some other questions that we get here. One question that we get is like, what makes these awards different from other awards in medicine? And I would say that our awards are uniquely targeted at women physicians, identifying and resourcing a group of high potential women physicians to hopefully advance those women into leadership positions. We are aware of the disparity between women who are coming out of medical training and women in positions of leadership currently. Women are vastly underrepresented in leadership positions still, even though gender parity is increasing at the training level. So we believe that it's crucial to support women as they journey into the positions of leadership, and hopefully by doing so, fortify the pipeline of women leaders in medicine. Let's see some other questions. One question we get is, what is the selection process like? And Becky went over this a little bit in her presentation, but I will just say that we have a very high profile and experienced group of reviewers who will be taking a look at these applications. They include representatives from research organizations and institutions that are doing great work in cardiology from around the world. And they will carefully consider all of the application materials that you submit. So it's very important to take the time to write a letter of interest that really explains why you think you are a good candidate for this award. And as Becky mentioned during her presentation, it's really important to think about how you might pay it forward to other women in the field. Our founding director, Dr. Roxana Moran, is very fond of saying that as you climb, you must also lift others to help fortify the pipeline and to help others achieve as well. So think about that when you're writing your letter of interest, and make sure that you include that as a component of your letter. And finally, people do ask us about the specific networking and mentorship benefits that are part of the award. I think, of course, the biggest benefit is the relationship with the mentor, between the mentor and the mentee. We've had lots of feedback from award winners that this relationship has been life-changing, career-changing, has opened doors to new opportunities for both the mentor and the mentee. The mentors are usually thrilled to gain this experience of helping a younger colleague achieve success, and the mentees really benefit from the experience and knowledge from their mentors and being able to have consistent access to that throughout the project life cycle. Also, the projects are very interesting and will hopefully advance scientific knowledge in the field. So that's another benefit. And then finally, we have our quarterly mentorship meetings where we invite members of our review committee and other key Women as One faculty to attend and hear about your project and your progress. And they often have very insightful feedback where you can submit your research, where you might consider looking to find more information. It's really a chance to benefit from small group access to some of the field's most important leaders. I think that's about it for questions, Becky, unless you can think of any others.
No, that was great. Thank you. So I know we sort of threw a lot of information at you all. If you have any more questions, you can email us at awards@womenasone.org. Either Caroline or I will respond to you and answer your questions as quickly as possible. I'm gonna pop the link to the awards page on our website here. There's gonna be everything that we covered today and some more information about the specifics of each award provided to us by the sponsors. So you can follow that link there. Oh, we did it at the same time. That was awesome. And then I don't know if I forgot to mention this. Applications are open now through next Friday, March 7th. Sometimes, depending on the number of applicants we get, we do add a little bit of an extension there. But if possible, we'd love to receive your applications by next Friday, March 7th. So that is really everything that we have for you all. As mentioned, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. And we look forward to reviewing your applications and appreciate you all for taking the time out of your day to join us.